I want to bring in a man reported to be on the short list as Kamala Harris's running mate, as well as a campaign surrogate, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who joins us from Georgia, where earlier today he headlined a campaign event for Kamala Harris in Forsyth County, which Donald Trump won by nearly 2/3 of the vote. Okay, so a buyer's remorse. You just heard what Jason Miller had to say. Are you hearing that from Democrats?
Oh, my goodness. We are seeing more energy than I've ever seen in politics. I went this morning to what's supposed to be a ruby red county on this weekend of action. They were hoping there might be 50 people, and we had 300 plus. They are fired up. They don't want to go back. They want to move forward. They are excited about making Vice President Harris our next president. You see the fundraising. You see thousands upon thousands of people signing up to volunteer. She is on a roll. We're going to keep this energy up, and we are going to elect her as the next president of the United States.
Well, I don't need to tell you, your state, Kentucky, has been reliably red since the 50s. Donald Trump won there in 2020 by 26%, and you won last year by 5%. Your approval ratings are in well above 60%. I think the last one I saw was around 62%. So what's the secret sauce, do you think, for the Harris campaign to compete in purple states? And do you think it's possible that they could have a different map? You just heard what Jason said. He doesn't think the map has changed.
Oh, I believe the map has changed. Georgia is in play, and Georgia is going to go for the vice president. What the vice president understands is most people, when they wake up in the morning, they're not thinking about their political party or the polls. They're thinking about their job and whether they make enough to support their family. They're thinking about their next doctor's appointment for themselves or their kids. They're thinking about the roads and bridges they drive. They're thinking about public safety. They're thinking about public education. And just look at what the Biden-Harris team has delivered. In Kentucky, because of the Inflation Reduction Act, we're building the 2 biggest battery plants on planet Earth, 5,000 new jobs for my people. We're building the Brent Spence Companion Bridge between Kentucky and Ohio, the largest infrastructure project we've ever seen. About 6 presidents promised it, and President Biden and Vice President Harris came through. We're running internet to every home across Kentucky, clean drinking water to places that have never had it before.
Are you suggesting she has a chance in Kentucky?
Well, I think Kentucky has been challenging terrain, but I think she has a chance in a lot of states that are out there. What I saw in a state that, in a county this morning, that went 80% to Romney and I think about 70% to Trump, were 300 plus people fired up and ready to go that believe in the vice president. And they believe in her for a number of reasons, one of which is she is a champion for reproductive freedom. You look at the fact that my mom, my daughter, and my wife had a constitutional right ripped and stripped from them. I think it's important that we strip Donald Trump from the chance to ever have a second term.
So let me ask you about something that there's a lot of buzz about. That is that 3 of the people said to be on the short list for vice president were also, like Kamala Harris, state attorneys general. You are one of them. What can you tell us about where you are in the vice presidential process? Have you been sent vetting materials? Would you like the job?
Well, what I can tell you is it is an honor to be considered, but no matter what happens, I'm going to work every day between now and Election Day to make sure the vice president is elected. And let me say, I've got the best job anybody could ever ask for.
But
I
if
love
offered
Kentucky.
another one as a vice presidential
DNA.
nominee, would you consider giving it up?
Well, I think that everybody being considered are great leaders. The only way I'd consider another job is if I believed I could help the people of Kentucky and the people of the United States of America in a different way. And when we look at what's going on in Kentucky right now, we've turned the temperature down. We have Democrats and Republicans working together. And don't we want that for our country? I mean, to get out of the craziness that we have seen these past years, to get to a point where neighbors don't yell at neighbors because of the registration box that they checked. The vice president can get us there. She is that type of leader. You know, she wants to move the country forward, not right, not left, but forward, while Donald Trump wants to take us backwards.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear on the road for Kamala Harris today. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.